This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Lost tonight to the Philadelphia 76ers, but to be honest with you, I'm not really that mad about it. You know, it's 3 games, 4 nights. Guys are going to be a little bit tired. Legs are going to be tired. So I think that's understandable. You know, obviously championship teams, you want them to be able to fight through those type of games, but it's not going to happen every night. That's just the way that is, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to happen every night. You know? So they take the loss tonight. Maybe Philadelphia wanted more. They're coming off of a loss. The Knicks, 9-1 in the last 10 games. You know what I mean? Probably feeling good about themselves. Also, coming off of playing 3 games in 4 nights. You might tend to get a little relaxed out there. Although they were playing hard. I mean, the intensity of the basketball game was high, right? It was a intensely played game, especially towards the end of the game. You know, but the Knicks just didn't have it tonight. They didn't shoot the ball well. You know what I mean? They just didn't have it tonight. It's not too much more I can say about that, to be honest with you. Just wasn't the night for the Knicks. You know what I mean? You know, I'm pretty sure the Knicks will rebound. They're going to bounce back, play better. You know, I mean, look, they shot 44% from the field. They shot 25% from the three-point line. You know, that's the type of night that's indicative of sore legs. Even though some guys sat out last night against the Indiana Pacers to make sure that, you know, we had some guys who were going to be kind of fresh out there tonight. Sixers, you know, they needed a win. You know, they coming off of a loss, they needed a win. It was back and forth. You know, the Knicks were kind of playing catch up most of the night. Not by a big margin, but playing catch up for most of the night. You know, and then they'd come back and get the lead and then lose the lead and come back and get the lead and then lose the lead. And then, you know, down the stretch of the game, mistakes. You know, mistakes. Tyler Kolek, who had been playing very well over the past few games, had kind of a rough game tonight. You know, 5 turnovers or something like that for Kolek tonight. Uncharacteristic. Now, listen, this is going to happen when you're playing and you're out there on the floor. Guess what? Teams are going to scout you. And they're going to start to pick up on things that you do. They're going to start to pick up on tendencies. And when they start to pick up on tendencies, well, sometimes those tendencies tend to play against you or turn against you. You know what I mean? So Tyler Kolek is getting a good taste of the league, of actually playing and producing, and then now being on people's scouting reports, because he wasn't always on a scouting report. You know what I mean? So sometimes he took teams by surprise. Well, after you take a team by surprise a couple of times, a few teams by surprise a couple of times, other teams start to recognize your skill. Recognize what it is that you're doing out there. And they say, we got to scout for this guy. So the Knicks take the L tonight. Let's take a look at some of the stats, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll listen to Mike Brown, and then I know people got some things to do, so let you do them things. You know what I mean? The Knicks lose to Philadelphia 116-107, 57 rebounds for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson had the best game of the season, his best game of the season. 57 rebounds for the Knicks, 26 assists, 3 steals for the Knicks, 3 blocks, 18 turnovers. You can point to that right there, ladies and gentlemen. 18 turnovers for the Knicks tonight. They shot 44.3% from the field, as I mentioned, 25% from the three-point line, and 84% from the free throw line. 60 points in the paint for the Knicks. I mean, a lot of numbers here look like the Knicks should have won, right? Besides those turnover numbers. 60 points in the paint, 19 second chance points. But the turnovers, they'll get you every time. They'll get you every time. And turnovers are indicative of a team who is also tired. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not really upset about this game. I'm not upset about the loss. To me, it's how do we rebound? Right? How do we get it back? That's the key to me, because that's championship stuff right there. Getting it back. Responding, rebounding. Getting it back. That's championship stuff to me. You know what I mean? Take a look at the box scores real quick. The Knicks were leading scoring by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Brunson didn't shoot the ball well at all. He shot 31.8% from the field. Still, 7 for 8 from the free throw line, but he just couldn't shoot the ball. You know what I mean? Maybe his legs were a little bit tired. This was definitely his third game in 4 nights. Karl Anthony Towns, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Josh Hart, 5 points, 10 rebounds. OG Anunoby, only 2 points for OG tonight. Played 31 minutes, 1 for 9. You know what I'm saying? 11% from the field for OG. Not a typical game for OG Anunoby. There was talk last game about OG, you know what I mean, that he should make the All-Star team. And I don't disagree. He's been playing really, really good basketball. Tonight wasn't one of those nights. But Mitch played a great game tonight. 21 points and 16 rebounds for Mitch tonight. The best game that he's played this season as far as points and rebounds. Now, he's had some monster rebounding nights and little minutes. But tonight, he did it on both ends of the floor. He was cleaning up. When the Knicks missed, he was catching lobs. Whoever the dude talking Lobinson, I don't know about that one, but, good night for Mitchell Robinson, ladies and gentlemen. Good night for Mitchell Robinson. Just wasn't a good night for the Knicks as a whole. Only scored 107 points tonight. As for, and I think I had the Pacers up there. Did I have the Pacers down there? I had the Pacers down there. The Knicks beat the Pacers. So anyone looking and thinking I'm crazy, apologize. We'll fix that right now. Boom, there it was. 76ers. The Knicks lost to the 76ers, not to the Indiana Pacers. As far as the 76ers, they were led in scoring by Tyrese Maxey. 30 points tonight, 9 assists. VJ Edgecombe came up huge tonight. Threes in the clutch. A monster dunk that basically sealed the game. You know what I mean? VJ Edgecombe played a hell of a basketball game tonight. 38 minutes, 10 for 18 from the field, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Kid's got some talent. We all know he can jump, but the kid's got some talent. He's got some skill. not just talent. Andre Drummond, 14 points, 13 rebounds, 11 points for Dominic Barlow. Paul George only 7 points tonight. You know, a rough night for the Knicks. They'll bounce back. You better believe that. They're going to bounce back. And they'll be better. I want to take a listen to Mike Brown. We'll break down what Mike Brown is talking about. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll head off for tonight, but I will catch you tomorrow. I'll be on with my man Tony Crow tomorrow. You know what I mean? We'll probably break down this game a little bit more again tomorrow when we have some people here ready to talk. Because I know, you know, people probably watching the fight and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to get out there and watch the fight too. Let's listen to Mike Brown. And then I'm going to let you rest and do your thing for the night. You know what I mean? It's Mike Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
You got to give Philly a lot of credit. They got up into us, and it bothered us a little bit. We had 18 turnovers. The game was lost in the turnover game. We had 18 of them for 16 points compared to their 11 for 2 points. And, you know, not every time they were in us we turned it over, but I think just the cumulative impact of it or effect of it throughout the course of the game caused us to turn the ball over. So give them a lot of credit for doing that, and you know, which helped them get a win. I thought we had some pretty good looks that normally go down for us that didn't go down for us tonight, but heck of a game by Philly.
You look at the teams that are high turnover teams. They're usually teams that pass the ball a lot. You guys are a team that passes the ball a pretty good amount, but you've been a low turnover team this year. What do you feel like has allowed you guys to be able to actually maintain that in general, and what do you feel like you kind of got away from tonight?
You know, I just thought our spacing wasn't great all the time. And, you know, normally we have pretty good spacing. Normally we get to the play after the play, but we get into our actions a little quicker. We were a little slow getting into our actions, not just bringing the ball up the floor at times because they kept turning us, but also starting the dominoes. Like if we started with a pick and roll, we walked from point A to point B, and when you walk from point A to point B and it takes you 5 seconds, the defense is sitting there loading up. And then when you don't put any pressure on the paint, you know, it's when we did set the screen, the times we rolled, we got great results. The times that we just kind of stood there or kind of half rolled and let them kind of get back in front, we struggled. And when we didn't get our cuts in our offense, we struggled. But like I said, more importantly, just getting to a second action with great spacing was a little tough tonight.
Did the ball pressure from Philly's guards? They like to pressure the ball.
Yeah.
And, you know, they push the pace. Obviously, they're, you know, with Maxey and DJ attacking the rim. But did their ball pressure impact you getting into that action?
Yeah. That's what I said to start. I thought they were really good with their ball pressure, you know, and not only, again, with their ball pressure, but their physicality. You know, we times when we tried to cut, they held us, but in a way that, you know, it wasn't a foul, but it was just real physical, and they knocked us off our routes. And when we tried to go play pick and roll, we walked into it, and they knocked us off our routes, and so we never set any really good screens. And again, when that happens, you have to up your level of physicality on the offensive end while trying to increase your pace with great spacing in order to combat that, and it was a little tough for us to do tonight.
Mike, how do you balance this being your third game in as many days and knowing that these guys are definitely just physically exhausted with also trying to uphold a standard and uphold certain defensive principles throughout the course of the season?
I mean, obviously it's tough. These guys are human, but at the end of the day, we try to pride ourselves on being a no excuse team, and we're going to go out and try to play, you know, to the highest possible standard or highest possible level, and most times we'll probably have it, but tonight we didn't. And, chalk it up hopefully as a learning experience, and we get some rest and get ready to get the next one on Sunday.
Mike, how big for Mitch's confidence is it for him to hit 7 out of 8 free throws tonight?
He's been working hard at it. It's a process. Peter Patton's done a great job with him. Mark Bryant's done a great job with him. But more importantly, Mitch has bought into what they're trying to work with him on when it comes to free throw shooting. And it's good to see. Anytime you can see positive results, that breeds confidence, not just in the individual, but also in the rest of the group. So it was good for him tonight to do that.
As a head coach, a quick follow-up. Obviously other teams try to intentionally foul him to get around the game. Would this make other coaches, I guess, think twice about doing that? They didn't do it tonight, obviously.
Maybe. I don't know. They that the first time that they intentionally fouled him, he went and knocked down, I think, 2 free throws, and then they stopped from there. So we'll see.
OG just 2 points, was a little more passive than usual. Just what were they doing a good job of containing him?
I thought OG had a couple of great looks from the 3-point line, and I thought he was aggressive on his drives, and he didn't get any calls. It's one of those. It's a weird game, and the officials they got a tough job, but I don't know if I'll ever understand what's a foul, what's not a foul, because guys, especially quick guys, they'll put their head down and they'll drive the ball from point A to point B, and if you lead with your chest and they're able to flop, or fall off you good enough, it's a foul. And OG's a big, strong guy, and when he drives, he doesn't do that. He's trying to attack the rim, and he's getting rerouted on his drive, but he can't seem to get a call. So I thought his aggression was there. He just couldn't get to the free throw line. I thought he had a couple of good looks from the 3-point line, and it just kind of got away from him. But again, I'm not sure what he can do right now to get a call on his drives. Not necessarily always at the rim, but I'm talking on the drive, because he's getting hit just like everybody else is, but he's a little bit bigger than some of those other guards that are getting the calls.
Coach, you gave Mo some minutes in the first half. What were you trying to accomplish there? And what did you see with Mo since he's gotten a couple minutes in the last few games?
I'll tell you what, before Mike Brown answers this question, I love the fact that he played Mo yesterday against the Pacers. He gave him another look tonight. He's got the length. He's got the athletic ability. I really think this kid can be a factor. He's not ready to play major minutes, but one of these days, this kid is going to be a factor. That's without a doubt. Let's get back to Mike Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanted to play Mo a little bit more tonight, if I could. But Mo's length and his feel, his ability to defend for a young guy, it's all at a pretty high level. And so as much as I can, I'm going to try to throw him out there on the floor just so he can get some reps and live competition, but also because I think he's ready for a few minutes here and there, and if he ever gets to a point where he can play extended minutes, we'll keep him out there.
Last one. Mike, it's hard to say that any defender consistently gives Jalen fits, but it feels like, at least over my years covering him, young athletic guys are typically who end up having the best time, like the Tyson Daniels or tonight a DJ Edgecombe. Do you think there's something about just the unbridled, almost naivete that they play with that allows them to go after Jalen like that, or what is it that you think someone like DJ was able to do with him tonight with ball pressure that just kind of kept him in the ball?
I don't think it. This is just me watching it. I don't think anybody gives him problems. Now everybody gets up for him to play him like they should. And they'll try to turn him and make it difficult. But usually when he ends up shooting the ball, he gets to a spot, he creates a space, and it's whether he makes or he misses a shot. And that's to me, that's all it is more than anything else. But especially younger guys, but young guy, old guy, when you play against the Knicks, you're going to be up. When you have to guard Jalen Brunson, you're going to be up because you want to show everybody that you're in your mind, you're on the level, or you have the ability to be able to do it. So I don't quite see that, what you see.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mike Brown. Obviously, doesn't seem too disappointed about the loss. I don't think he should be too disappointed about the loss. It's just you're gonna lose some games. You know what I mean? And this is just one of the games where the Knicks got caught. Playing the second game of a back-to-back, 3 games in 4 nights. You know what I mean? One of those games. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not sweating it. Not worried about it. I'm more worried about Sunday's game. Now, number 1, how do we rebound? Number 2, it's Miami. I want to beat Miami. The Miami Heat, they played us tough. They've played us aggressive. They've it's been a tough matchup against Miami. Right? So we have a newfound edge, I believe. And I want to see us put that edge. Okay, we lost tonight. I'm not saying that we didn't. I don't feel like we got out-edged. We just didn't shoot the ball well. And we turned it over. Those two things never mix. They don't mix. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's not going to happen again against Philadelphia, in my opinion. If it does, then we can say, all right, they got something. But tonight, I just chop it up to bad shooting, turning the ball over, 3 games in 4 nights. All of those things, they equal a loss. Equal a loss. But in Miami, we got a couple days to rest. Well, we got a day to rest. Rest up tomorrow. We get back out there against Miami. I want to beat Miami. You know what I mean? I think we're down 2-1 against them in the series. Right? So we'll get a chance to tie the series. Let me check, make sure. I don't want to tell you lies. Let's see. We lost to them 115-113. We beat them 140-132, and then we lost to them 115-107 on October the 26th. So yes, we are down 2-1 in this series for this season. We need to get this win, tie the series. All right, listen, for the most part, you could say that Miami may not be close to us in the playoffs, but you never know what's going to happen. Not in the playoffs, but in the standings. You never know what's going to happen. So win the series, or at least tie the series, and let it go to tiebreakers. Right now, the Knicks are second in the Eastern Conference at 19-8. The Miami Heat 7th at 15-13. All right, but they've been a good matchup against us. They've had our number. They've beaten us 2-1. They've kind of had our number. You know what I'm saying? So let's get some rest, come back, take care of the Miami Heat on Sunday. Last thing before I get out of here. I know last season I was down on Tyler Kolek. You know what I'm saying? This season, I've really liked what Tyler Kolek has been doing. Tonight he had a rough game. 2 points, 4 turnovers, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 for 3 from the field. Only played 15 minutes. It's going to be nice like that. He's a young guard. It's going to be nice like that. If he continues to play, he'll continue to be on team scouting reports. And if he continues to be on the scouting report, they're going to continue to, he may struggle on. He's going to have to figure out, okay, this is what they're doing against me. How do I counteract that? And the coaches are going to have to help him. You know what I mean? But I still like what I'm seeing from him. So I'm not, You know, I'm not going to point and say, hey, yep, here we go. No, I think now it's time to see how Kolek rebounds, right? This is what tells you if you're an NBA caliber player. When I have a bad night, can I rebound? Just like it tells you if you're a good basketball team. We have a bad night as a team. How do we rebound? How does Kolek rebound? That's against a team like Miami that will play you aggressive, that does play the Knicks aggressively. How does he rebound? We'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I know you're probably watching, some people watching the fight if it's on and some other things. So I'm going to let you get to that. Me and T. Crow, we're going to check you out tomorrow, all right, with the slowest shows. So make sure you're there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.